Okay, good evening, everyone. This meeting has been advertised in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act and is publicly accessible in accordance with law. Can I have the roll call, please?
Sure. Rocco?
I am present.
Thank you. Wait, I just wanna see what they moved you to, okay. Dr. George?
Here.
Sarah Menino? Absent. Maria? I am here. Zainab? Gina?
Here.
Maddie?
Here.
Mayor Walker is out. Frank Weber? And now we'll do Dr. Sasso. Do you wanna change it in here?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
We do have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's salute the flag. I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so to start off tonight's meeting, we have executive session here. Do we need an executive session?
I was hoping we could see if that's our guests.
Come here a minute.
Okay, we have a guest speaker this evening, so it's up to you if you wanna do executive session first. She's volunteering from another library to
Okay.
come in and speak to us.
Yeah, do her first.
Yeah, we're gonna move executive session to later after the presentation. So let's do the minutes first at least.
Sure.
Where are the rest of the people?
And I'm gonna just make this unmute.
Oh, that's her. Frank isn't here, right? I'm not
Correct.
hearing him?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna skip executive session at this time and move to the minutes. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of November 12th, 2025. Can I have?
You can do both.
Oh, and both, I'm sorry, and of the executive session minutes on November 12th, 2025. Can I have a motion for both, please?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Rocco?
Yes.
Dr. George? Dr. George? We're voting on the minutes?
broken.
Oh, okay. We're voting on the minutes?
Joan, do you have a vote on the minutes? A yay or nay? I don't know if she can hear us. Joan, can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us.
No, should I try a message?
Yeah, let's try a message. Can we continue the vote? We'll come back around to everything.
Sure. I am voting yes. Gina?
Yes.
Maddie?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm hitting chat and I'm not getting chat.
There you
Oh, thank you.
But you won't know to look at them.
We'll find out.
Just right out. We can't. Oh, that. You can see
That works.
Yeah, that's right out.
Can you-
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we're taking a vote on the minutes.
Yes.
Dr. George?
I'll abstain.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
And unfortunately, I believe we've lost Leslie.
She was on there and then
She was on very clearly, yeah, let
Yeah.
me just make sure that she doesn't have,
okay,
Maybe she thought we were.
for the
going to
public
executive
and for Joe, we actually have a speaker, but they dropped out for some reason. So we're just gonna try to get a minute to try to take them, get them back on.
I'm just, if we wanna go ahead with other things and then if she comes back in,
Okay.
Okay,
maybe we can
Do we
pause.
even have executive session issues for tonight? What do we
I'd
have?
like to just go over, because we have a lot of the personnel with the leaves of absence.
Okay.
we'll save that for the end. We'll move that to the end, we should move, let's move forward with personnel.
Okay.
So we're going to move forward with personnel at the time until our guest speaker comes. Unless does this have to do
Yeah,
with
do you
one with the
wanna-
other?
Do you
or-
wanna talk about those leaves before the board votes on them in exec session, or?
Yeah, I thought
Is
it
that
was
what you
good
want?
just to give everyone,
My apologies, we are we're gonna take a motion for executive session at this time,
Make a motion.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and then how am I moving to, I don't know why I'm sorry, put in waiting room, there we go.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, we
and
are,
I'm gonna pause this, or
Yes.
yes,
we are back and we are admitting Leslie.
okay, so we are back out of executive session, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yes, so welcome Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very fortunate in that our Board of Trustees is very interested in adding a social worker to the library services, and not just an intern, but kind of like your position is committed there, and we're looking at having a full-time person here. So as we go into that, it's been great to interview some library directors, but I wanted to speak to you directly and let you tell the board a little bit about what you do and how you handle being a social worker in a public library.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I am delighted to be here. I was actually a retired social worker before I ended up in the South Brunswick Public Library, and actually because I had a friend there who told me they were looking for a social worker, just went in to have a conversation to see what it was all about. It is a new and developing area for social work, so best practices are still evolving, although there are places in the country that have had social workers for some time. Some of the larger urban libraries, Chicago and so forth, who have high need patrons, I think brought in social workers to help connect homeless folks and people with high resource needs to services in the community, entitlements and so forth. What's really interesting for me, I've been at South Brunswick for 2.5 years now, is kind of how it evolves. And that is what I've learned from my colleagues in some of the other libraries. It's a mix of suburban and urban libraries. South Brunswick is you guys know South Brunswick, I'm sure. It's a township. You don't walk there. It's not like a high volume people off the street. It's really people who are coming to the library for a particular reason, to work, to play, to learn, to study, you name it. And I think maybe there was one conceptualization of what library social work would look like, which is sort of patron focused, working with people who come in and say they have a particular need or a particular problem to solve. And really what we've learned is it really goes beyond that there are already people using the library who have needs. You don't even know who they are. So you may know some of them, but for instance, there are a lot of people who have wellness concerns, grief and loss, caregiving. In our library, we have folks who work in the library who are doing transnational caregiving, lots of concerns, stressors, things like that. So I say that as a backdrop because there will be people who may be looking for information and resources. They may need help with entitlements. They may need help with social programming to help them solve whatever their life challenges are. But there's many avenues to kind of engage the full library community in getting help and support. That can look like wellness programming in coordination with things that you would be putting on your calendar or have on your calendar already. You can add social work to that. It really, as I see it, I am an extension of our information services team, because I have specialized resource knowledge. I mean, Dawn, you asked me the question, like, what's the difference between a social worker and a community resource librarian? I mean, we can both do the job. We have similar objectives, which is to help people get what they need. I think what happens on my side, of the way I see it, is that As a social worker with some experience, I walk through the door with an understanding of the systems of care and the avenues through which you can maintain a currency and an accuracy of information about what's available in the community, not just what is a service that might solve a problem, but what is the right service for this person, which takes, even though I know a lot of the resources, it takes a little time to kind of just decide. You can go through a directory. There are loads of things that might say, oh, these will help this person. And you start calling and you find, well, no, not really, because they don't meet the criteria, or no, not really, their funding was cut, and so on and so forth. So I think that if you look at a social worker as an expansion of your team, not separate from, you really add a capacity and a value in that you have somebody who can spend the time it would need, someone may need to solve maybe the initial thing they come with, and sometimes the story unfolds from there. Obviously, you can be dealing with confidential information when you're being asked to help get access to entitlements, depending on who that person is. They may or may not have a facility with a technology. Sometimes they do, but then these processes are very cumbersome. And I've sat with people who got very frustrated because they got kicked out of the system, et cetera, et cetera. It can look like a lot of different sorts of things, but I would say a social worker does come with some specialized knowledge. I think that my focus was getting engaged in the community by participating in, for instance, the Human Services Advisory Council, which every county in New Jersey has one. You have all kinds of human service providers that participate in that, from childcare to senior service to disability services, et cetera. The real advantage of that is you stay current on what's happening in the nonprofit world. So you have the opportunity to really not just make connections, but again, know that you're giving accurate information to folks that are looking for some kind of help and support. So I talked a little bit about programming, patron support. There's staff training and support. Sometimes folks come and say, I'm wondering how I should approach. I'm only part-time, I should say that, 15 hours. We have this person in the library, we're not sure, they're not asking for help, but we're not sure how we should handle. My approach is, yes, tell them about the service, but it's really voluntary. You don't want to force anybody into anything. You want it to be a safe space. I have people who've come back over time who, with practical things, but as they come back, they tell me a little bit more of what their stressors are. So it is a go at your own pace kind of situation. It's not a clinical situation. It's really, what information and support do people need, and how can you help connect them to that? That's the sustainable part of it. You want to get them into the systems and the places that will help and support them. I also look at social work in the programming area as a way to do prevention work, maybe secondary prevention work. In other words, or maybe primary prevention work. I was bringing in some partners from child serving agencies to talk with our parents after story times about child development issues, healthy development. Parents had a chance to talk about concerns they might have about where their child is. That starts to create, another avenue for people to kind of talk about things that may be worrying them. And therefore, both can we provide an educational session on that and bring people together, and also then can we say, by the way, we have a social worker here, or we have somebody who can help you, navigate the system if you find that you're having trouble. I just want to see page. And then there's program development and community partnerships. I do see myself as engaging not just the library community, but being involved in the service community, so that I think it's a two-way street. Libraries are a great way to amplify the messages of social service and nonprofit providers, because you've got the general public. We've involved our library in needs assessments that the county was doing, so that patron needs are represented, not just service recipients. So there's a lot of different ways, a social worker can participate. There is a group of New Jersey social workers, we meet once a month outside of the NJLA, then an NJLA subgroup developed. But we basically provide support to each other. We're a combination of urban and suburban libraries, and sharing best practices, ideas. Sometimes policy issues come up in the library. We're trying to really create a safe space when there are students and interns so that they don't end up in a bad situation. I shouldn't say bad situation, an uncomfortable situation when maybe there's just been a task supervisor. I have a bias, I will say. Interns can be great, but it's very tough on them to not have the kind of supervision they would get in a different type of setting. No knock on anyone. And I'll just give you a quick example and then I'll shut up if you have any questions. One of the libraries, I don't know if it was South Amboy, I think it was South Amboy or Sayreville, I'm not sure. South Amboy, I believe, had an intern. And on her last day, she was calling me to say, can you help this person who I just has so many needs? And it was an issue of somebody who was injured on the job, had brain injury, had his whole life turned upside down. And they were just trying to sort through what kind of things they could get access to. And there's an example like there, she happened to find me somehow. We didn't say anything about geography. This was a person who was in need. I discussed it with my director. We had the time to help. And as it turns out, it's kind of a complicated situation. So because she was leaving, like here's somebody that kind of she got started with right at the very end, but then really couldn't do the work that needed to be done. And I think that's a disservice to somebody who comes to you to say, help me. And then it's like I would love to, but I can't. So I think having a social worker part-time or beyond really provides that level of consistency. You get to build something, interns come and go. I would say after 2 years, doing ongoing needs assessment, becoming part of the team, creating a visibility that's not scary, like, oh, social worker, no, it's another person in the library here to help with resources and support. So I mean, I could go on and on. I'm a convert. I heard at the national conference of social workers they had for the first time in South Carolina that I believe there are 77 social workers across the country in all kinds of settings. So this really is a developing and growing field. And I think, you could look at high need individuals as sort of, now you have a resource to deal with that, but you could also look at kind of what level of wellness and support you can provide to the patrons who maybe wouldn't think about talking to a social worker, but have life challenges that are stressful and difficult. So it can be what you want it to be. It can be exactly what you want it to be. And I think that there is no one size fits all. I think there are a lot of commonalities, but I think when it comes right down to it, what is your population? What are your needs? How does this supplement and support your team and expand the value of services that the library can provide?
Leslie, thank you so much. I'm gonna just jump in quickly there before we get to questions. First, I wanna welcome our trustee, Zainab Syed. We're talking about the possibility of adding a social worker. So Leslie has joined us from South Amboy, where she's been successful. South Brunswick, I'm sorry. So I've been working with people, and we just had the mayor's, the Bridge to Wellness on Monday. So the mayor wants to prioritize wellness throughout the community. And this is where, when she's talking about interns, so there was a program from 2022 to 2024 where Rutgers went through and had social work students do their internships in libraries. And while that's great, exactly what we're talking about, the consistency, you work so hard to have people understand that we have a social worker and then the social work's gone at the end of a semester. And I do think Some of the things that came up today at the emergency management meeting was, and these are things we'll work out. With the town, I don't know how much time someone can commit right now to connecting a person with resources when they come in. So what is our role? What are the boundaries between the municipality and the library? But I think we can do that very effectively if we are open from the beginning to see, we're not calling somebody on a Sunday night, whatever, but we will, if you have to connect somebody with 211, we'll take that on rather than having the municipality do that. So I think that can be a good partnership, but that will happen with the mayor and the business administrator and other employees. Have you had any of that? What is your interaction like with your municipality or township?
One of the first things I did is I got to know our social service provider, who also is our food pantry, and also our senior services, our senior center director. And so I kind of went to learn what they were doing. We were still evolving. What were we going to be doing? And really just have continued the conversation. I introduced them to the notion of participating in HASAC because I thought they could potentially benefit from some of those relationships and communications. And we sometimes get people who, I have a lot of contact with a particular senior who didn't want to go to the senior center, but I called on when I need help about, well, is there a good resource that I'm missing? I've said to Jeannie, who's our South Brunswick food pantry and social services person, call me if I can help with a resource. Here are the areas I have expertise in. And so we do have a working relationship, and that's been really great.
Excellent. And one of the other things that I'm working on is I really feel like our promotions rely on us branding our different tracks. So our performances and concerts, that's something we do. Our learning sessions, that's something we do. And then our wellness. So we're already doing so much of that wellness, but I think that the person coming in could be the coordinator for that. And then we can say, what are we doing for teens? What are we doing for parents? How many programs a year do we have to have as minimum for us to be providing? So that's what I have. Does anybody have questions for Leslie?
I do. Hi Leslie, how are you? Thank you so much for coming in to speak with us tonight. Do you feel that being there part-time does allow you enough of time to meet with the patrons? And are you taking appointments with them? Are you going walk-ins? How are you scheduling your day when you are there?
Oh, she froze.
Oh, she froze.
Oh, they're all frozen.
Hopefully she'll unfreeze. This is one of the things that I think with part-time is it really stays more just library. If we really want to venture into, oh, my connection is unstable.
Because everyone froze, except us.
Dr. George is moving.
Yeah, Zainab is moving, Dr. George is moving. Okay. I don't wanna hit this and lose everybody.
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, well, I,
No,
oh, there we go. Sorry.
I don't know.
Question? Okay.
Sorry. It says my internet connection is unstable. I do not do automatic scheduling. Some people will have, like, you can go online and put yourself in. I respond to people directly. The thing about me, because I'm a retired social worker, I have flex, and I'm at a certain life stage, I have some flexibility in my schedule. So I schedule myself based on what some of the needs of the patrons are. If I know somebody can't come in, during the day, I do try to have, like, I do work till 6 on some days. I come in the afternoon. Some days I have long days. I do a lot of communication by email with people's consent. That's probably the biggest thing, is you end up playing phone tag trying to reach people. So our information services desk will say, if you're okay sending an email, Leslie will get back in touch with you, and then we coordinate when we're going to talk. Some people it's phone, some people it's in person. Some people it's a one-off. They just need some kind of specific information about how to get something, some kind of resource. And then some people come back over and over again. As I said, I have a particular senior aging alone, truly alone, who has a lot of things she wants to put in order before she dies. So I'm helping her work through that process.
There's a great program, I have to remember which company offers it, where they come in and they help these seniors do their last living will, the power of attorney, you know, the healthcare proxy. They'll come in and do everything for free. And I wanna say that it's a partnership for drug-free New Jersey, maybe? But I'll look into it and then I'll connect it to you if you want it.
And this is
And that's what
where
you can bring in here then.
just having somebody who's doing this instead of me having to go out and vet the providers. You know, I really appreciate, Dr. George said at one meeting, like, frame me up to do
Are they frozen?
quality stuff would be good.
I have another question. How do you handle teens when they come in?
Here's the other thing I would say. Teens don't typically come to me. I may go to them. Here's the thing. People, and this is an important thing in my mind, and maybe as a part-timer it's different than a full-timer. The people who know the patrons who may be in need the best are the people in each department. So the children's services people, the adult services people, they know people, they have relationships for a long time. And in fact, what's been the most effective is for them to be a partner with me by being able to whisper in people's ear and do a warm handoff. Hey, I know you're stressed right now. You know, we have somebody you could talk to who maybe can help you. Do you want, you know, and then they'll come to me and they'll say, so-and-so, you know, is going to come, or they'll introduce themselves. We have one or two people at the information services desk who are particularly good at kind of hearing what people aren't saying and kind of saying, hey, by the way, like, Leslie can help you. She has the time to sit down with you. She's here today, et cetera, et cetera. So the teens, I've had some young adults, but typically the teen interaction has been where we've gone in, and I say we, like me and my student, have gone in and planned programs to engage the teens so that they know, you know, if they wanted to come, they could. Honestly, don't really see kids, don't really see teens. Generally have talked to parents, I've talked to college students, I've talked to seniors, I've talked to young professionals. People
But
with
if they should come, what's the ruling with that? Like, what's the?
There isn't one. So
There
I
isn't
just
one.
wanna,
Okay.
interject so I also spoke with so we're very fortunate to have also, Leslie helped structure the program at Matawan with Kimberly Payon. And they have very intentionally not gotten involved with the kids because the schools already have social workers
Okay.
and programs going on. Now, in exactly what Leslie was just saying, for our young adults, once they get to be where maybe they've stopped, they're not going to school anymore, maybe they're working, those kids who are 16 to 18 who may not be in school or something like that, they are very particular if they're going to sit down and meet with those kids, it can't be in a private space. So we're acutely aware of that, and that's where after we get done with our discussion tonight, the next steps I was gonna suggest for everyone is getting a job description together, and then also going over these issues with Chris in greater detail, where he and I can look at the liabilities from a purely kind of bean counter perspective to bring those back to everybody, because our policy will dictate a lot of this, and we are free to do what we wanna do.
So Leslie, what I'm hearing is that the patrons are being referred to you, right? More or less, somebody's referring the patrons to you.
or self-referred, you know, we advertise, you know, I'll give you a quick example. Like, we did a social media post during National Eating Disorder Month or whatever. And we've been using social media to advertise kind of basic information on different issues, different resources. Somebody saw it, they called, they had trouble, you know, finding a place for their daughter who had just gotten out of a treatment program. So they do self-refer also.
So if we were to do it here, it would be under wellness, would people know there's a social worker?
Of course.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that we would have to do a lot of promotion.
Mhm.
And this is why I wanna think about it very carefully. But then it's also with the Bridge to Wellness, with the Mayor's Initiative, going out to the HOAs and things like that. This is a person who could go out and do that.
Right.
Yes, we have adult wellness program, yes, we have youth wellness programs. We have programs to reduce anxiety for kids with public speaking. But if we put that into that one track, library track of health and wellness, and this person can coordinate that for the other librarians and regularly liaise with the schools, with Rosemary and Matt's doing the social services and things like that. So this person's gonna constantly be doing that back and forth with everyone and just keeping a pulse on every program that's available and being a resource for everybody too. Instead of you having to go dig through and find everything, this is a person who would hopefully have. And exactly what Leslie said is so wonderful. Leslie had said to me, if we move forward with this position, the person would be welcome to attend this very supportive networking group of experienced people in this developing area of librarianship.
So Leslie, do you know anyone that is available that maybe you recommend that they can apply once we have a job description put out there? Because I believe strongly in referrals.
Yeah.
I want somebody who works like you and thinks like you, right? Because we feel that you're doing this, you understand, you've created the structure, you know what needs to be, and your recommendation would actually be a welcome, hey, a little nudge, hey, why don't you apply for this job? They're looking to fulfill a position that's similar to mine.
I
Right.
don't
They're a referral.
I don't particularly know anybody at this point. A lot of my friends have retired, so I'm at
Wait,
that,
you
I'm at
retired
that end.
too? Leslie,
But the deal was
half of your day.
flexible hours and I could travel when I wanted to, so they said yes to that. I will tell you that I had heard from Kimberly that she advertised and she got a lot of resumes.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Leslie, I have a
So-
question for you. My name is Gina Talamo. I'm just curious, do you find that people feel that in the library setting, it's easier for people to want to talk rather than like go into a medical facility and go on a one-on-one, like where they feel it's a therapist? And do you feel that it's just a little bit more laid back and they can come in and not feel such pressure?
I think yes. I think, of course, people may need that medical center because they're getting mental health services or so, things like that. I think people might be inclined to look for information. And sometimes in the strangest places. Quick example, we were at National Night Out. I had put something up about endorphins and like how to increase all the good chemicals for mental health. And a man came up and said, how do I stop the voices in my head? And now that's a whole assessment right there. This is a public event, et cetera, et cetera. You'd never know. But the lesson in that is you never know when somebody's going to come up with a question. He'd never been to any kind of counseling before. He didn't really know how to approach it. I did my own quick assessment to make sure that he wasn't at risk. I didn't get deep into it. But why am I saying this? I think libraries generally feel like safe spaces. Everybody I talk to says, I love the library. There are trusted people in the library. The trick is to make your social worker a member of that team and not make it someone different. I made it a point of showing up at our social events, our National Night Out. I was actually giving out free books that were weeded books that were made, decent books that were going to the recycle pile as a way to talk to people. After story time, bringing people in. When you talked about a teen, if a teen has a particular need, there are some newish programs that come out of the state, and actually like 4Cs, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they can come in and do talks for teens
We just
on
had a sad Monday.
stress and stuff like that. So am I answering your question? I don't think I'm
Yes,
answering.
no, I just, to me, I can't think of a better idea of doing it. This is such a great idea. I could just picture people wanting to come in once it's, feeling a little bit more at ease, because this is a safe place for them to do it. There's no stigma, there's no.
Right.
There's no stigma. And here's the other thing I'll say: the current state of of the federal budget and the roll down to the state and then the roll down to the county. There's a lot of concerns about how the safety net is already being affected for a lot of people, not just people on the fringe. And so I think libraries are uniquely positioned, but also may find themselves in a position where people are coming in saying, I don't know what to do.
Jonathan, George.
People who haven't perhaps been compromised with their housing or with food insecurity or with their health benefits. We've heard what's going to happen to health benefits, the cost of certain medicines. So in that sense, I think libraries can be a huge mouthpiece for information that really makes people's lives as steady as they can be under the current circumstances that we find ourselves with political changes and funding and so forth.
So Leslie, you'll sit with them and you'll fill out the application and answer questions and help them if they're not understanding?
Yes, I have.
And you're able to do it on the laptops there at the library, personal information and stuff, it doesn't save and stuff like that? Like, it won't be an issue?
I do.
It depends how we do it.
We set up the computers.
We set it up.
All of our computers out there now, nothing saves anybody's information. Every session is private. You're guaranteed privacy on computers.
Yeah, I would sit with somebody and have them complete it.
Yeah.
I do have somebody who has a vision issue and she's just like, no, and I make a point of saying, I'm reading it all to you. I'm reading every single line to you. You're going to tell me if I'm right, I'm wrong, etc. So yes, the library wouldn't be comfortable with information services folks doing that. I'm sworn to confidentiality by license. And so if it's up to the patron. I mean, if they want that level of support, I always try to get them to do it for themselves.
You get the success stories, do they come back and say, it worked? I found this, I have this, I found a house or whatever? Do they come back?
I had a very stressed mother who had a disabled child who she felt the Department of Education was giving her the runaround because he was bullied at school and this changed his whole mental health situation. And it turns out she had a lot of financial issues, marital issues, maybe some DV, I'm not sure, 2 other kids. And she was so stressed out and she called and said, I need help because I can't take this anymore. When I went through the long list of things I could think of, she had done them all. What was happening was the system moved slowly. And the only thing I was able to give her was a listening ear, confirmation that there was no other thing. Children and Family Services happened to be my area of expertise, so I felt very confident that what she had done was everything she could do. And I just, we talked about stress management, wellness for her, care for the caregivers, and things like that. But a lot of validation, like what a good mom you are to be going. You've done everything. 3 months later, she came back at Christmas. She said they finally placed my son in the school that I wanted him to go into. And I just thought you should know. Now, I didn't want her to do that, but that was terrific. It was terrific. And I literally listened and I validated. I didn't have to call one person on her behalf. And so sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that.
And all of you will be ambassadors for this program. I was in a meeting today and one of our municipal partners questioned the library having money for a social worker. And where does that come from? And it's explanation. It's connecting people precisely, Leslie, like you said. It's not, the library's got this separate social work department, they're expanding what they're doing. No, we're just going into, it's information services. We have an expert on this type of information to give to people. It's not like we're opening up counseling sessions, that kind of thing. So that you'll hear that, and what we'll do is we'll develop language together and give that to everyone so that you've got talking points.
And I would just add the other part of that is the expertise flows over to the staff, because even with a full timer, does that cover every hour the library is open?
Right.
So you're really building the capacity of your staff team as well, with the information and knowledge that the social worker can share, whether it's about approach, whether it's about common problems that people need resources for, you name it. So I think it's efficient in the long run. It really is efficient in the long run, in my opinion.
It's a great idea.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Thank you
much,
so
Leslie.
much, Leslie.
Thank you so much.
Leslie, and honestly, if you have nothing else to do with the other half of your day, you have a great place here. You're gonna love it.
You never know. If you want to send the job description when you have it, I'll see if there's anybody in my network that my from my old network that would be interested. I'd be happy to.
Yeah, a recommendation is always such a
Yeah.
great way, especially in this area.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Thank you. very
Leslie,
much.
we'll be in touch. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Well, best of luck. I'm looking forward. I hope it's a yes, and I'm looking forward to partnering with your future social worker.
That'll be
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Excellent,
Thank
Leslie.
you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
All right, nice to meet you all.
So if
See you,
everybody's good, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna start working on a job description, and
Find the one that Leslie applied to.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask her for if she had her job description.
But
I thought you could do that off
But I
the
have a
record.
question for you. So you were asked where the money would come from for this?
Yeah.
somebody said to me today, oh, well, taxes are going up, how do you have capacity for a social worker? And I just said, our funding is determined at the state level, it's not determined by the municipality. But also, just so you know, I did say to them, we're a very large community with essentially one branch, so. Boop, 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 back it up.
But just out of curiosity, couldn't our health and wellness work in conjunction
Of course.
with this?
Oh, it will.
It has to.
And this is why I was at the meeting on Monday,
Yeah.
because we're already doing gentle yoga and Reiki and caregiver support and all of that. It's us having an expert on staff who can do that, and then us developing a brand for it. Having a visual, a logo for people to come and look and see. I mean, if you look, I'm gonna give a shout out to East Brunswick. East Brunswick's done a tremendous job with their health programming.
East Brunswick is like hands down on everything. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, on everything.
Yeah.
They are so wrapped up and involved, cultural art, everything,
Yeah.
from top to bottom.
They're doing a great job, but when you see that, it's because of the investment of time and staff in it, and that's what this would be for us.
And it'll grow, and as the health and wellness, Bridge to Wellness grows also, it's going to go across the entire town. Partnerships will grow and more needs will come up, and we'll stamp it with the mayor's health and wellness seal on it.
The needs are there now.
The needs are there, and we'll just keep tapping into what the needs are, and just so everybody knows, so Hackensack Meridian was with them today. They said that they just did a health assessment for Middlesex County, and Old Bridge is in that. And as soon as they get the approval for it, then I'll have access to that. So we'll really be able to see what the needs are here in terms of everything, because they hit every single thing from obesity to, to mental health and everything. So I'll pull that up and I'll share that with everybody, because just especially from this perspective now, that we want to bring a social worker in, it's good for all of us to see what the overall needs are here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, I guess where did we leave off? Personnel?
Personnel.
Okay, all right, so, I'm going to make the motion to approve personnel, letters A through F. So we're just gonna go through we're gonna try to do them all in one fatal swoop.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I have a motion for personnel letters A through F?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay? Right, any discussion on any of the personnel letters A through F at this time? Any discussion? Okay, seeing there's no discussion, I will take a roll call, please.
Dr. George?
Yes.
I am a yes. Gina?
Yes?
Maddie?
Yes.
And Rocco.
Yes.
Thank you.
Zainab.
Oh, Zainab, I'm sorry. I have, because I have her marked as absent.
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, we're going to move on to finance. Action on December 10th bill listing in the amount of $245,535. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on finance? Okay. All right, roll call, please.
Okay, sorry. I say yes. Zainab,
Abstain?
Gina,
yes.
Maddie,
Yes.
Rocco,
Yes.
Dr. George,
Abstain.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to old business, we've already done that already, so we will move forward with new business. Anyone have new business that needs to be talked about at this time?
it's not really new business, but to go see the Marlboro, location. Matt Mercurio is available on January 9th at noon. If anyone is available for that, to go see,
January 9th at noon?
yes, at noon.
What date
He
is
is
it? I'm sorry.
flexible,
That's a Friday.
he is
I don't have my phone with me.
he's flexible on the time, but we just figured we would pick a time, so we figured lunchtime.
I can probably make that.
You can, okay.
I won't be available, I pay well, I think.
Okay,
100%, so we'll-
Payroll, I feel.
okay. Would you like us to try maybe a Thursday?
No, I mean, if you could do it a little bit later that day,
Oh, yeah,
like
we could do later.
Yeah, yeah,
You wanna do
but-
later?
1 o'clock's fine.
Can you
I
do
just-
later?
I just can't do it.
1 o'clock? Are you guys good? Dawn, are you good?
I'll make it work.
Okay.
Okay, 1 o'clock. Maddie, you're not here with us anymore. I'll let Matt know 1 o'clock.
Maybe I'll mention that now. New business.
Yeah, that's me.
That's your
Actually,
business.
yeah, so, today is my last day serving on the board, the library board. I know the mayor's not here, I do wanna thank her for giving me this opportunity. It's been a really great experience. I've enjoyed working and collaborating with all of you, and I mean, from what I've seen, a lot of progress in the library, a lot of improvements, and, Dawn, you work really hard. And you're really transforming this library, and I feel that, we're very lucky to have you, and just keep doing what you're doing. And I'll probably see you at some point here in the library, and, you know, I'm already seeing what's gonna happen, so I think it's, it's good for the community.
Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We'll miss you.
Yes.
I just wanna say one thing, I met a woman the other day that came here for the Medicare, I think you have like a program or something. She said to me, it was more knowledge than she got anywhere else. She said, the library is great, she goes, they should do this every month. I said, really, she goes, it was unbelievable, she goes, I got to ask all kind of questions that I wanted, everything was answered, it was plain and simple, and she goes, I told all my friends. And that's just so nice to hear that somebody did something other than just coming about, never comes to the library, she saw that, she's new to the program, and she wanted some questions answered, and she said to me, I never knew that Old Bridge Library did that. And I said, it just makes you feel good that a woman that never comes to the library saw that and came.
Now you have a regular.
And now she said she's gonna come back, she says, I don't realize everything that was being offered here. She said, I thought library was get a book and read.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right. Yeah.
And
More than
those are the
just
people
books.
that we need to
Yeah,
target.
oh, that's a good
So, you know
motto,
what I'm
we're
saying?
more than just books.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, those are the people that you wanna target.
And that's what we're doing, that's why we got the children's manual, so I can get the car guys
Yeah.
next. But also realize that half of our people who use the library, you're never gonna hear from them, cause they're online. Getting their ebooks and their
Right. Yeah, sure.
audiobooks and their movies
That's very true.
and things like that,
Are we able
so.
to see how many people are utilizing it online?
Yes and no, I'm working on sorting all the statistics, cause I'm a little precise with numbers. So I want them all accurate before we start throwing them around.
It'd be interesting to see. Your parking lot is always full. I
Yes.
never find a
Yes.
parking spot, even I go out for lunch now, I come back, I can't get a spot. I'm like, that means I get to go home?
Yeah.
On the library public school front, just a couple of things of note. First off, we do have a new superintendent of schools, Dr. Vincent Sasso. And so far, he is getting himself well immersed into the world of being a superintendent. But he is very interested in joining us. He will be here probably sometime, hopefully in January. He was hoping to come tonight, but he was a little disposed. He is also extremely interested in building more relationships between the school and the library, as well as the current president of the Board of Education. We've had several discussions, and I'm gonna be setting up a meeting in the near future. The book kits that were sent out to the public schools, have met with a lot of excitement. Particularly, I think the one that stands out the most is the 8th grade selection. When it was introduced at an ELA meeting last month, there was a lot of interest, and so there's a lot of that going on. And also in the public, particularly at the high school level, a lot of interest in the AI and information literacy information that's gonna be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I will be unable to attend next week's session because we are having a meeting, but I will be sending a representative for the school district. Her name is Rachel O'Neill, and she is the ELA, she's currently ELA, I guess you could say coach,
Yeah.
what there is her title.
Yeah.
But she does a lot more than that. She's my partner in crime in a lot of things that we've been working on in terms of creating ELA opportunities and for our students, so.
Make sure she has my cell so she can get in the building close to
I
the
will
public.
definitely have some conversations with her about that before that, but she's very excited. She has been, like I said, a partner of mine in particularly AI literacy for our district, so.
And the AI, I just wanna add so there's the AI stuff and then there's information literacy. So I think you all know I've worn a couple of hats before coming here, and I taught information literacy for 11 years, from K to postgraduate level. And I love it and I miss it, and unfortunately or fortunately, it hasn't changed in 30 years. It's the same stuff. So with a few additions, but our staff have been really dedicated to making sure that we can partner with the schools and help them out with that.
Yeah,
Sure.
so,
What was the date of that class again? I wrote it down, I think I
So,
remember.
the board members, all of our board members, it's December 19th is our
December
training day. And from 10 to 12, we are going to have Jim Craner from the Galicia Group. He is going to be joining us remotely from Ohio, but we're expecting, he's got a little AI playground that I'll be sending out logins for, so that we can get some experience with that. And we're gonna have that program. I've also extended it to in the municipality, if there's anybody who wants to join us in their IT department. Anybody who wants to come is welcome to come over and attend that.
excellent. Okay, any other new business at this time? Okay, we're going to move on to the director's report.
So I just wanna continue with AI for a second. So I bought sets of these books. I know that this is super basic. AI for dummies. I want people to be comfortable asking questions. This is actually 7 books in one, and then this is artificial intelligence basics. I haven't met any full experts, from the impact of data centers to really what's going on, with OpenAI and where it stands financially at the moment. There's so much to learn and to do, and it's really just about talking and asking questions and understanding for our staff that this is your job. When the community has an information need, it's our place to step in and to fill that. So we do have our AI task force that's started meeting already, collecting articles. We're gonna read these books, and I've made these books part of a book club. So once we're done with these in a couple of months, anyone in the community can get a set of these and sit with their friends and start a talking group about this stuff. So we also we're very fortunate that Rocco's gonna come in January and do a program for parents, for AI and parents and what that means. And then we also have 3 other programs for AI in, I think, January, February, and maybe April. But we wanna make sure that we're offering something to the public at least once a month, and that we're doing evenings weekends, and daytime. So that we're covering all of our different groups of people, and that we're promoting that. But yeah, it's mostly just everybody's gonna stop being afraid of it, we gotta just wade in. And it's so funny because when you start talking about the mechanics of AI, it quickly moves into opinions and ethics. And so these are all different things, so having a program once a month, inviting the community in to just talk about people's feelings about the ethics of AI. We can monitor a discussion on that where it can be good, so. Director's report, just a couple of things to cover. First, I just wanted to share, I went away for 1 week and I came back to all of these comment cards. We get our comment cards online, but people still fill these out every week, and each and every one of them is, I attended the adult craft and enjoyed it very much, Cheryl was informative, please offer more. So we're doing more on Friday nights and Sundays when we can focus on our adults. We know that we serve our children fairly well, and our seniors, we wanna make sure that we're focusing on our adults this year. Again, adult craft night drop-in was fantastic. Here's one about an employee that was wonderful. Old Bridge Public Library employees are the best, always helping above and beyond their duties, exceptional staff. Oh, programs, concerts, senior programs, keep up the great work.
Is there anything we could do for the employees that get like a special notation? I mean, I feel like we should acknowledge that.
They just nominated one of the guys that works for me, his wife got nominated something here. Her name is Jackie Soto,
Oh,
and she comes here all the time with her daughter. Matter of fact, I'm trying to convince her to join the board. I think it would be great to have a parent on
That
this
would be
group
fantastic.
that has young child.
oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I said to her, I went like this to her husband, I said, tell your wife to fill it out, she needs to come on the library board. So she said, what do I have to do? I said, just be a part of the community.
So this is, I love the trivia game, but having things like trivia, karaoke, programs like that, it gets people together. And it does support wellness because it's people being together. Here Kathy's extremely helpful.
The good endorphins.
So what I try to do is, so all of these go to their supervisors. I was taping them up when we first started having meetings, and I can find a way to do that again. What I do like to try to prevent from happening. We have public services employees and then we have back of house employees. And it's kind of difficult that there's not equal opportunity for recognition amongst everyone. So that's why I tend to present them together, that they're all a part of that team pulling together. Okay, I'm very excited. Unfortunately, Frank's not here. We found an alternative to our emergency messaging service. For various reasons, the police department wasn't gonna partner with us on that. And I think it's kinda good, because Code Red is currently under assault.
Is it?
It's down, I think, statewide right
I
now.
haven't gotten anything on that.
How
Yeah.
about the county has
They got
Blue?
hacked.
What's
I think they got
Code Blue is just-
Code Blue is the heating.
Oh, that's heat and cold?
Yep, and we met about that today. I went to the OEM meeting, so we're on track for those things. So for less than $2,000 a year, that's with startup to get started. We spoke to other libraries. Pam Candela did a great job doing the research on this, finding this message being notification system. So we're starting off, since no one signed up yet, we're starting off just by buying 10,000 SMS messages, and we'll get that started, and that's less than 2,000. And like I said, that's the setup, the installation, and I think it's like 5.4 cents a message at this rate. And we are only gonna be sending out 3 or 4, the water main broke, the library is not open until 1, that kind of thing. But it was very good to talk to Office of Emergency Management today to see who wants to know when we are closed, when we have a weather closing, because we're different than the municipality. Basically, when I hear New Jersey declares state of emergency, I don't always close, but we kind of are supposed to.
Yeah.
The schools are a good indicator that we try to match up with them, but there are times when that doesn't work because of weekends and evenings, and we're coming
But
upon
if
that
it's a state of
season.
emergency,
You should close.
you're really supposed to close
I
because
know.
I know someone that had a car accident during a state of emergency and his insurance company didn't pay.
can't be on the road.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And that was, I think there were just some funny ones over the summer with the thunderstorms that were a little weird.
Those are stupid, but I mean, for me, I never make anybody come to work if I think the roads are bad, I don't wanna be held responsible.
Right.
God forbid somebody comes into work.
I have to say
It's
this,
an accident.
did you see the airplane landed on
Yes.
that car? I had to tell you, my head went right to Tom Garrity. When I trained for CERT, Tom Garrity would say, people, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, on Route 9, this major road that eventually a plane is gonna land, and we need to
Well, we
be
do have an airport in
prepared, how we're
Elbridge.
going to take care of this.
Slow bumper, we
Right,
do
how are we
have
going to
airport
handle
knowledge.
this? And I'm watching the news, I'm like, oh my God, Tom Garrity, I'm gonna call him later, I forgot, I was gonna call him today. You were right there, just not on
That's
9.
always, he always take that cert class.
I love that CERT class.
Oh, yeah.
I actually asked them, because they said, both Brian and Ruth that night said, anything I can do, we can never say no. So of course, I texted both of them. And I said, well, it would be really great if we could tie in with the school and do a junior CERT class for the students.
Oh, that would be nice, yeah.
How awesome would that be? But he said that the county took it over to have better control over all the trainings and stuff. Because to me, I think it was one of the best things I've ever taken. Totally prepared in the case of an emergency, so.
All right, so yeah, and I just wanna thank all of you because it's been mostly working with either Sarah or Kevin, but everybody's been very understanding with whatever plans I come up with, and obviously the municipality is helpful and supportive. I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware, I love that we're finally able to get to in your packets, this is a social media strategy. We haven't had one. So when you get in here and you take a look, having that position for our coordinator of strategy and communication, this is all the work that Pam did, and we're only gonna elevate this. To really start to take a look at what our posts look like. So, anybody who ever wants to take a look at that and let us know, it's appreciated. I also gave you all an updated org chart, just so we have it. If anybody has any questions, let me know. One other thing, the QPA, that meeting's happening tomorrow. So I will be meeting with the VA and, is someone called the CFO?
Join as the CFO, yes.
Yes, so I'll be meeting with them tomorrow, so hopefully we can get the last couple of projects that we've been waiting for, that the garden, half of our lights being not working, all that good stuff. Okay, and then, just so everybody knows, with the PA system, it's been the bane of my existence. The microphone was still not working, but the vendor and the manufacturer have been duking it out, and they're going to be sending us a solution to our problem for free, with no cost for shipping. So the vendor, that's why it's taking longer, so that can happen. Did anybody else have any questions about the director's report?
Very good.
All right, excellent, thank you all, and I'm, just in case before I forget, I hope everybody has really happy holidays, and I'm really looking forward to January. Linda has, been working on new manuals for everybody, so that everybody's going to have our policies and all of, our guidelines, but also things like the Freedom to Read Act, so that you know nationally with the American Library Association what's going on with all of that stuff. So we're gonna have those books ready for everybody in January.
Very nice.
Okay, all right, moving on to committee reports. I can say there's nothing for building and grounds as of right now. I'm assuming we'll be getting meetings next month. So that's where we are with that. Finance?
The only thing is I need to get a draft budget together for January. And there is one outstanding question for the treasurer, and that is that the auditor has asked that we have someone on the online account who has access to the online accounts. I currently do not. They suggested that it was me or a board member. Personally, I think since the board takes responsibility for the money, I think it should be the treasurer or someone like that, but I haven't had an opportunity to communicate that. That's all.
Outreach marketing? Personnel negotiations?
We do have our contracts for our other administrators that are due.
Get the non-bargaining.
Yes,
So we'll have to look into that next month.
for January, yeah.
Policy, nothing new for policy, though there are some things that are out there, but we will have a meeting next month regarding those things.
Yeah.
And finally, technology.
Just an update for everybody, I'm so excited that we proactively got the Wi-Fi upgraded. We're not waiting until things break, we're increasing our speed, we have good understanding of what's going on, it's just really nice to have a cycle of updating things. So kudos to our IT team.
Okay, excellent. All right, I will open the, if there's any public comments to be made at this time, please let yourself be heard. Do we have anybody for public comments?
They did, I put them in the waiting room, they didn't come back.
Yeah, I think he got confused when he got put.
Okay, so before we adjourn, I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of those wonderful things. I know many, I can say as we head off into the end of this year, I just want to thank all of you. It's an honor to work with all of you. I think we've got a lot accomplished this year, and I'm looking forward to January and seeing more of those good things happening. The look of the place is going to change. Our relationship with the school district is getting better. It just seems like all the way around, it's good times. I can say, working in two areas of public service, doing this and in being in education, I actually feel pretty good about the future about this all. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish you all well, you're doing.
yes, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, I mean, this was my pleasure, really.
All right, any other comments?
Nope.
Okay,
Thank
all right,
you.
we'll now make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Thank you very much, have a great night and happy holidays.
Thank you.